To please Allah, a chance to gain reward, I will spend on you, he says, all who spend in good cause. Good deeds are opportunities, sparkling bright and true, raising you in the sight of Allah and adorning Al-Jannah for you. So rush to earn his reward. Don't forget the oppressed. And when you go to sleep at night.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, dear guests, dear viewers, welcome to another excellent episode, inshallah, of A Time to Please Allah. And I'm your host, Gabriel Al-Romaani. And we hope, inshallah, that you had a productive week, an excellent week, inshallah. And alhamdulillah, what a better way than to end this week, this hard-earned week, with watching Huda TV, A Time to Please Allah, and being engaged in another productive, inshallah, topic that, as we always try to bring something new to the studio, something new to you, wherever you might be, to watch us, and to relate to you within a 21st century context, to issues that are important to you. And A Time to Please Allah, as we said, is usually a show that is, picks its topics from the audience, people who, like you, who send us messages, who have requests, and we should have a show about this topic, or we should do something about, what's happening in the world today, or something that the Muslim Ummah is maybe slacking in, or maybe they're doing too much of, or, a lot of things that are related to us. And of course, we keep things within our ability, and we don't go out of what we, what we know. And as Umar ibn Abdul Aziz used to say, that may Allah have mercy on a person who knows his spot and knows his position. So of course, we are trying to keep our position. Having said that, alhamdulillah, today we have an amazing show, inshallah, and I'm going to have some very, very amazing guests, inshallah, interesting brothers, mashallah. And I really hope that you are here with us to stay for this hour. And make sure you check us out on Facebook, A Time to Please Allah. Like our show, so you can receive updates, and we post our previous episodes. And I guarantee you, if you go back to our previous episodes, there's some very interesting things that we talked about, some very entertaining things as well, interesting phone calls, a lot of good feedback, and a lot of excellent questions that we had to deal with. Today we are talking about Kung Fu. Yes, that's right. Maybe you didn't hear properly. Kung Fu, and you'll be like, why? It's an Islamic show, isn't it? A Time to Please Allah. What does that have to do with Kung Fu? Well, actually it has to do a lot. And as my next sheikh and brother and Sifu, as they call him in Kung Fu, Abdul Wahid, our dear brother, a respected brother, will come as a guest, and his students, and they will explain to you what is Kung Fu and how can that fit within Islam, or what's its relationship to Islam, and how does that help you as a person. I know we grew up watching Kung Fu videos, right? All the old movies, especially in Eastern Europe. I mean, it was Western video films, cowboys and so-called Indians. Obviously that's the wrong term, it's natives, but it was like cowboys and Indians, right? Veena too. And then there was the Kung Fu series. Okay, there was the old Jackie Chan movies, and I know that's like not traditional Kung Fu maybe to some people, but then there was the real traditional ones with the different masters and the students. And it was really, I used to love watching these videos, and I grew up watching these. And I myself, alhamdulillah, got involved into martial arts from a very young age, and alhamdulillah I still practice. And coming into Islam, I found it within Islam that there was a great emphasis on a person taking care of his body. And as the traditions go to, that basically our bodies are amana. And of course we know Islam is the perfect balance between spirituality and the physical aspect, okay, of our life. So we take care of our spirit, we nourish our souls, but at the same time, we take care of our physique. So I'll talk about the latter part more, which is the physique, and Sifu will speak, inshallah, when he comes on about the spiritual aspect, and we'll have an excellent discussion, inshallah. But when we look around in our ummah today, we find that in general, now I'm not saying blanketing everyone, but in general, we are an ummah that is not very healthy. It's not very, I would say, regimented. And we can see by the amount of people who pray Fajr, for example, in the masjid. The ability to pray Fajr in the masjid requires a lot of strength of character and a lot of spirituality, which we'll talk about. When we look also in the ummah, we find that in terms of our physique, when we see people around, that we are not in shape. It is the non-Muslims usually who are in shape. It is the non-Muslims who take care more of their bodies. And specifically, I'm going to speak a little bit about males here, because sometimes people are like, oh, you guys pick on the sisters a lot, sisters hijab, blah, blah, blah. Today I'm going to speak a lot about, the male aspect, because, the husband wants his wife to look gorgeous and to be beautiful and to beautify herself and to wait for him when he comes home and to look like a supermodel or something like that. But he himself has a bulging belly sometimes, and, he's not groomed properly and might not smell good. Why the Prophet ﷺ used to be he used to take care of himself. He used to smell good and he used to look good, as the Sahaba radiallahu anhum used to narrate that he was more beautiful than the full moon on a bright night. And we read in the book of Imam Tirmidhi, Ash-Shama'il Muhammadiyan, that the Prophet ﷺ, that his chest was bigger than his belly, so his belly was flat. And he had broad shoulders. So he was in shape, mashallah. And yes, later on we read that he sometimes prayed while sitting down, because when he got older, in his late 50s and 60s, early 60s, as we know, he died just after the 60s. But, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But he was in shape. He was a man who was in shape. You're talking about in his 40s and 50s, where subhanAllah, we see some of our brothers, may Allah have mercy on us and guide us, that we're almost expired. We don't have energy. We don't have the ability to do anything. We want our women to look beautiful, but we ourselves don't take care of ourselves. We don't go to the gym, or you don't even have to go to the gym, really. It's just about having self-discipline, how you eat, okay, that's number one, and exercising, not being lazy, getting up, doing things. There's easy things that we can do, inshallah, I'm sure that we'll talk about it, but subhanAllah, such things as push-ups, sit-ups, chin-ups, and, different squats, things that you can, walking, running a bit, keeping yourself, like actually feeling that this body is an amana from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you have a long, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is increasing, giving us life, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best when our life will finish. But take advantage of this ni'mah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given, so you can use it in His path. If you're 40, 50 and you can barely walk, you're out of breath, you're not in shape, you're not able to to deal with your wife, with your children and so on, and subhanAllah, you can be doing da'wah, you can be changing the lives of people with Islam, but if you don't have the stamina, how can you do it? How can you do it? But we sit there as males, and complain always about women and this and that, and then we see, subhanAllah, the non-Muslims really taking advantage, mashallah, people in the 40s, 50s, being very active, people doing martial arts, going to the gym. We see them Friday morning when the Muslims are sleeping, they're out walking and exercising in the morning and eating properly and all these things. While we, the Muslims, when we sit down at a table to eat food, we really overdo it, and we violate the sunnah till we fill our bellies, and we're all guilty of that, no doubt about it. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to understand this balance, inshallah. As I said, the physic is so important, but also the spirit is so important. We'll take a break right now, inshallah, and I'll bring my guests in, and don't leave. Come back. Make sure you call your friends, call whoever, because this is a show that you want to catch. Inshallah, we'll be right back within a few minutes with our guests here on Huda TV, A Time to Please Allah.
A time to please Allah, a chance to gain reward. I will spend on you, He says.
We can't just take knowledge and keep it as information. We have to transfer it into action. When he got up, he said one thing. Asalla nas? Did the people pray? In Hajj, for example, the primary example of how multiculturalism really looks like. All equal. I've got a dentist in Canada. Even though he's ripping holes in my teeth, he's got great akhlaq. I love visiting him. Identify the issue. Analyze it. Challenge it. And then try again. Because if you fail, big deal. Try again and keep trying.
If I think I lost my ablution, but I'm not sure, do I have to make wudu again? Is it allowed for Muslims to visit the graveyard, or is that shirk? Am I allowed to say Jummah Mubarak to someone? Can I get to know a sister before marriage? I have so many questions, and I feel that I've just reached a dead end. If only I could find someone trustworthy to answer my questions. Someone who speaks based on proof from the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet.
Time to please Allah, a chance to gain reward. I will spend on you, he says.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and welcome back to the show. And we have, without any further delay, our guests here. And we have Brother Faisal, assalamu alaikum. And Brother Safwan, assalamu alaikum. And Sifu Abdul Wahid, he's the, mashallah, the Sheikh of Kung Fu, alhamdulillah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. Welcome to the show. I am really excited. This is your show, alhamdulillah. So without any further ado, just 1 minute, inshallah, introduce yourselves, and then we'll take it from there. Brother Faisal, please.
Yeah. My name is Faisal Ibrahim. I was born and raised in Saudi Arabia. And currently I'm working here in UAE, in Sharjah, at Marai Arts Center.
MashaAllah.
And my name is Safwan Raja Munir. I was born in Pakistan, and since the past 8 years I've been living in the United Arab Emirates, and I'm currently studying in a university.
MashaAllah. And Brother Abdul Wahid.
And my name is Sifu Abdul Wahid Habibullah. I'm from Belgium, Brussels. And before coming to live in UAE, I was living in Antwerp, and then I came here to teach traditional Kung Fu.
MashaAllah. So you came to the UAE to actually teach Kung Fu?
Exactly.
Okay, mashallah. So tell us a little bit about just the history of Kung Fu first.
Okay. Before I start, people must understand the meaning of Kung Fu. Yeah, because in the past, the Westerners didn't understand, they didn't get the good grasp of the Chinese language, and vice versa. So actually, Kung Fu means perfection of a person.
Okay.
Kung Fu, perfection of a person, which takes work, study, and time. Yes, that's Kung Fu. The character Kung alone means self-achievement. The character Fu alone means happiness. So it's the perfection of a person which takes work, study, and time, which the result should be happiness. So Kung Fu by itself, if you talk to some Chinese, if you do Kung Fu, proper Chinese who just never left China and just came to UAE, they will not understand what you mean. If you say you do Kung Fu, they will say Kung Fu what? Literally, they will not understand. So you have to explain to them you do Kung Fu Wushu. Because Wushu in Mandarin means martial arts.
I see.
And in Cantonese is Mausak. Understand? And Kung Fu Mausak, so perfection of a person within the art of martial art, was the core of the education in society before. So it is through the way of Kung Fu that a person could achieve, I would want to say bliss, but I want to say the core of be a proper human being with the character of nobility, the proper way of eating, as you said before. Many of these things, yes, this was done through the way of Kung Fu. Now, when the West discovered the Chinese culture, it's like you see this cup. The Kung Fu is the whole thing. Yes, they just understood from what they just put the finger in the cup, that one drop, that's what they understand of Kung Fu. And that's only the fighting aspect. And that's totally wrong. You know, it's like we Muslims, yes, at the time of Rasulullah, the Sahaba, they had suyuf, they had swords. Yeah, but they were not cutting the head off of everybody in the streets.
Right.
They were actually like malaika, the behavior of angels, you know, because you clean yourself, you purify your soul, you do so many things. So our Islam is actually the same thing. Our Islam is teaching us to purify ourselves, to perfect ourselves. So the Kung Fu Sifu, according to his belief, if he's a Muslim, is going to teach you how to perfect yourself through the path of Quran and Sunnah. Or through Buddhism, if he's a Buddhist, that's his philosophy. Or if he's a Christian, through the gospel. That is actually Kung Fu. Understand? And the way of practicing the Kung Fu before was done specifically through families and temples.
Okay.
Because it's spirituality.
I see.
Understand? So they pray a lot, they meditate a lot, yes, and then to be in shape, they do the movement and the exercise.
Okay.
Yes, and the understanding of the exercise is actually highly, extremely important. Understand? When you exercise, you live longer. Yeah, you don't look your age. For those for whom it's important, yeah. Like you said before, you don't get so expired so fast.
Right.
Because basically nowadays people get really expired really soon.
Very soon, yeah.
You know, they get psychological distress, food distress. You know, we say in Arabic, shifa, ghidak shifaq. Your food is your cure. Yeah, we eat wrong. Right. But our mind is also, the mindset is also wrong. You know, aqsalim fi jasad salim. A healthy mind and a healthy body. So if your mind is not proper, your body will not follow along. This is Kung Fu.
So when did Kung Fu originate? I mean, what's the history of...
Kung Fu originated above 6,000 years. Some say, yeah, that Kung Fu originates from the beginning of mankind. Me personally I said, I will agree to that. Because when Allah Azza wa Jal created Adam alayhi salam, He taught him everything. Yes?
Right, then he knew everything.
Adam alayhi salam has been teaching us everything. You know? We know that Adam knew more than Musa alayhi salam. When Musa talked to Adam and said, it is because of you that we are all living this life we're living, and Adam said, you're going to complain to me what Allah has prescribed 50,000 years before He created me? Understand? So this is what it's all about. Yes? So they say that actually the way of learning self-defense was implemented in our system by the creator of the universe. Understand? And along the way, some from the Bani Adam have developed it more than others.
Right.
Understand? And along the way, they forgot Allah Azza wa Jal.
I'm sure some people might be confused right now. They're like, oh, you know, there's a lot of terms there and what's going on. But I can probably maybe make a good parallel with when you try to explain Islam to non-Muslims, right? And you say Islam is not Islam. Islam means submitting to, you know, you're created to achieve happiness. That's probably like what you would explain Kung Fu like. Because people are like, oh, you know, because you say Jesus was a Muslim. They're like, no, he was Christian. True. Or something like, or Jesus, no, we're saying in concept, yes, he was not, you know, whatever, you know, like as a Muslim, as we're saying from, even though we know he will be from our ummah, alhamdulillah. Yes. But he was a person who submitted his will to God, you know. Yes. Like you have to translate it to him. That's why some people, when you say Kung Fu, right away they'll think of like something that dressed like that, and an Oriental person who is Buddhist, so they might get confused, like, no, I cannot comprehend the two. So then let's go to the other important thing, then. How can Islam and Kung Fu coexist? Because we know that definitely there are certain practices, for example, within yoga, for example, that originate from Buddhism or Hinduism, and then there's certain practices within Kung Fu as well that they're very closely linked to Buddhism. So how can we put the puzzles together and basically you're a Muslim, mashallah, you're a practicing Muslim, alhamdulillah. How do you put Islam and Kung Fu together?
Okay.
It might be a fiqh, type of.
No, it's actually a very good question.
Okay.
Yes.
And then maybe we can, introduce your students, and we can.
Yes.
I want to see some moves. That's what I want to see today. Alhamdulillah. I don't know how we'll do with the mics, but we have to see a couple moves at least.
Inshallah ta'ala.
Okay.
So, Kung Fu, perfection of a person. I'll come back to that.
Right.
Yes.
The concept, yeah.
Yes, the concept.
Yes.
So if someone is a Buddhist, he's going to use the concept of Buddhism to achieve perfection of himself.
Okay, good.
Understand? Therefore, a Muslim is going to use the way of Islam to accomplish the movement of Kung Fu.
Mashallah.
So the Buddhists, they have a way of saying hello. Yes? So they're going to educate their children, their wife, each other, say hello according to our way, whatever the things they do. Yes? We Muslim, we also have our sunnah way, but our best teacher, alayhi salatu salam, Muhammad, Nabi Allah, about the way of greetings.
Right.
Yes? Now there are certain things which is true. When you are my student, there's a certain way of salute.
Okay.
Yes? Some of the Chinese, they bow.
Right.
Yes?
Yes.
In my school, it's forbidden. Extremely forbidden.
Mashallah.
Yes? Because you just do bow in front of Rabbil Alameen.
That's it. Mashallah. Okay.
Yes?
Because that's a big mushkila for people who are martial artists. I remember all the time when I still practice, when I used to be in the dojo or anything like that, right? Whether it's jiu-jitsu or karate or Muay Thai, they always bow somehow, right?
Yes,
and I was the only one who was not, and people would feel it, very. So I explained, I don't bow to anyone other than Allah. And then after people accept it, you find it's full of always people complaining, oh, we can't bow and all these.
But the funny thing is, China is a big country.
Right.
So even according to the north, the south, the west and the east, they don't even greet the same way. In the south, they don't bow. Understand? And our Kung Fu is from the south.
Okay.
Yeah, from Canton region. So they just do like this.
Right.
Understand? But they look at you straight in the eyes.
Right. It's kind of like saying, hey.
Exactly.
Okay,
you see?
There's nothing.
But it has a meaning. It's like this is the warrior side, this is the female side, the peaceful side.
I see.
Level of the heart.
Okay.
Yeah, greeting. But if there's a problem, you already, the hands are already there.
Right.
So this is like
punch you in the face right away.
No, just defend yourself. It's sort of about self-defense. So this is actually the greeting. So you might see some Chinese when they say ni hao, ni hao, ni hao, ni hao.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
That's true. Okay.
You see, they don't bow.
Okay.
And because sometimes, before, there used to be lots of war between South and North and all this. So when some people do bow, like, oh, there's one from the North.
Okay.
Oh, there's one from this one, or this one.
Okay.
Allah Azza wa Jalla has been telling us that we like to fight and divide each other for nonsense.
True.
While we all still one big same family.
Right.
So in China, a lot more. And the more or the less you follow the Sunnah, Allah's Quran and the hikmah of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the more deviation you will have. You see? So it's just a question of learning Kung Fu on the way of Minhaj.
Okay. So again, bringing the self-defense aspect into it now. So we said that you can teach this perfection, this enlightenment through Islam, through Quran and Sunnah, right? The spirituality part of it. Your akhlaq and how you deal with people and your disposition, how you think, what you eat. Now, what about the defense part? How does that fit into the life of a Muslim and so on?
It teaches self-confidence. Understand? Nowadays, if tomorrow, a lot of us maybe come from countries which has been like through war, through this, through that. Nowadays, people just tend to run away. They don't face the enemy. Understand? This is not the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran. You don't like people who runs away. Understand? But you don't like also people who are aggressive. Like people come to my school and say, how long will I become professional? Even that question I find it strange, because actually professional is me. It's my profession.
Right.
You know. So they mean like, how long before I can fight somebody? Say, well, I will never teach you how to fight. If you come here to fight, there's a boxing school over there. You can learn how to give punching, but this is easy. Yeah. So how long before I become good? Then my answer is a question: how long it take you to become a good Muslim? Then they say, Tul Haya. So well, this is the same. It's your whole life. Practicing of
you
Kung
don't
Fu.
stop, yeah.
You know, it's something that you start today and tomorrow you stop. Because it teaches you that you become spoiled. You're not happy with this, then you quickly change, and you're happy with that. You know, it's like we have in this beautiful country, unfortunately, lots of fast food. You know, so you don't like KFC, just go next door. You don't like this one, go to the biryani. You don't like this one, go.
Boom.
You know, then you're not stable to one thing.
Right.
You know, and then still at the end of the day, you're still fat. You see?
You said something about self-confidence, right? I want to bring in our guests, Faisal and Safwan, right? Yeah. How did Kung Fu help you guys now? I know your teachers here, mashallah. Maybe you guys will do some push-ups if you do wrong answers. No, but how did Kung Fu, when did you start learning Kung Fu, for example? And how did Kung Fu help you with self-confidence? You know, let's start with Brother Faisal.
Okay, actually, I just recently joined the school.
Okay.
Okay, and my brother Safwan is my senior. But from my side, our Sifu has already make the definition of Kung Fu. And it's go through 3 phases, which is the study, work, through time. Okay, so I'm still at the first phase, which is the study part. Okay, so maybe I could touch on the theoretical aspect of it.
Please.
I'm now getting into it. All right. So it first starts with self-discipline. Okay, when we have self-discipline, then automatically we'll be able how to control our body and our mind. Okay, and through that we'll be able to gain confidence in everything we face.
And do you feel a difference since you started the first, I mean, how long you've been practicing now for, let's say?
So for a couple of weeks now.
Okay. Yes. So from the first time you joined, and what was the reason? Why did you join?
Actually, I have practiced karate before and also taekwondo. Okay, and this was actually totally different, although I was into martial art, just like how you mentioned. But I didn't really know what was really Kung Fu until I met Sifu. I thought it was just like, martial art like they show in movies, and just about aggressive, It's like competition between China and Japan, Kung Fu and karate, But then I realized after I met Sifu that it's more into perfection of the person. It's not only perfection of the body, but also perfection as a person. This is how the definition of it, through all the 3 various phases, through study, work, through time, until we achieve happiness.
Before I joined Kung Fu, I was doing for karate for almost 4 years. And I at that time also I wanted to practice Kung Fu, but I couldn't find it anywhere the traditional way as it was used to be taught before. So I joined karate, and even after 4 years I was brown belt. But the only thing I learned there was aggression. Like anyone says something, I get mad. So I wanted, the purpose of martial art is an art. If you want to learn aggression, you can go for boxing or kickboxing. So after 4 years, when I found this, when I met Sifu, then I joined, and I understood that even after being brown belt and learning so much how to fight, the basic level of Kung Fu was way higher than that level of karate also. And at that time I learned that, how to discipline yourself, punctuality, timing, in everything. And using that, by learning Kung Fu, you can implement it in your life also. And by practicing now, I've been doing Kung Fu for almost 2 years now. And I can see change in myself also.
So again, how do you bring Islam and Kung Fu together? Because you said punctuality, all these are already stressed out in Islam. So how does that compound together, Because some people might be like, well, we already have those in Islam. Why would I even want to study Kung Fu?
Okay, for example, now most teenagers, we know, okay, salah, we have to, is Quran says, aqim salah. We have to pray on time. But we are involved in playing games or playing football. We say, okay, leave it, we'll pray after. We'll pray after we have time. But we do Kung Fu, there's no 1 minute late, 1 minute before. We have to be on time. Everything, punctuality. And since we practice it, we become better and better. And then, because we do Kung Fu and everything in time, this, we can use it in our salah also, in our daily life also. So this learning how about the timings, when you bring it in Islam also, like in salah, then you are implementing it in your in Islam also.
MashaAllah, excellent. MashaAllah. So Brother Sifu, tell us about your school and how do you deal with your students? How does it take? How long does it take to study? What's your system like? How does it differ from other systems and so on?
Okay. My school is southern, Cantonese, traditional. So first of all, I don't teach fighting or self-defense for competition, because competition, it actually train you to be focused on getting trophy. This is real life based, literally one fist can kill a man. So once you understand this and you understand how and the why, then you don't want to fight anymore as before. Understand? So this is how your Kung Fu is very a strong support for your deen. Qala Rasulullah, iyak al-ghadab. When you get angry, he said to one Sahabi, iyak al-ghadab. How do you translate this in English? To you, your anger.
Yeah, be careful of your anger.
So,
La taghdab,
so when you know what you could do to somebody, then you start to think, is it worth to fight for something which is so worthless? If I ask you to cut off your arm and I give you 1 million in exchange, will you do? So people fight for something even less than that.
True.
Understand? For nothing, and they just go like kibr or me and this and that. Is it worth it? No. So once you understand these things through the way of Kung Fu, then you know that literally it could go really bad for both of the persons. You're not going to say, I'm going to do this to you. You know what's going to happen to you? No, you still have to stay modest, because you never know your enemy also. Maybe he knows how to fight. You don't underestimate your opponent. Understand?
Right.
But nevertheless, you'll be like, end of the day, is it worth it? Then when you leave it, you feel more clean. Understand? Because you didn't get angry as before. And this is the Islamic way. Understand? So when it doesn't work sometime in the school, I have to bring a hadith to remind the students. As the Buddhists, they will bring Buddhist philosophy to remind the students. You see? That's why it is implemented, it goes together. You know what I mean? Because people will say, I have my Islam, it's enough. Nowadays, it is very sad to say that people acquire the knowledge of the Quran and the Sunnah, but they don't really apply it.
Right.
Understand? So having the knowledge and to stock it on top of your fridge is valueless. Understand? We hear people say, Qala Allah, Qala Rasulullah, Qala Sahaba. Yes? But they never say what Allah said, what the Prophet said, and what the Prophet did, and the Sahaba did, and we should do. They like to show off, say, the Prophet says it's like this, so we have to say like that. Yes? But when it comes to the do, they don't really do. You see?
We keep it as stories, it seems.
Exactly.
And when we look at the lives of the Sahaba, they were very brave. And
Exactly.
They're people of action. And we know the story of Ali radiallahu anhu, when that person, he spat at him.
Yes.
Right? And he was about, it was a fight. He overtook him. But then he held himself, right? That type of composure.
Yes.
That's something very, very important, because someone would have just flipped. I'm right here.
Exactly.
And he's like, no, because my intention is not.
It's not to kill you
Is
for
not
you.
correct.
It's
Right.
for the sake of Allah.
Yeah, there was, in the war. Okay, now let me ask you, brothers. Obviously, there's an aspect of self-defense there, right? And do you ever feel like trying your kung fu skills on someone? So not self-defense, but on offensive, like someone just bugs you and you're like, man, I want to try my kung fu skills. And how does kung fu help you control it, or Does it amplify it, or how does it work?
Actually, the reason why you will not feel that those who go on the path of the Kung Fu, that he will go aggressive, that before he even learn to do just even one move, he will have the discipline to control himself. Okay, so he will have control over his body, he will have a control over his mind as well. So when he has all of this control over his senses, okay, and after having all this discipline, okay, he will be worthy of having this responsibility, you know, of learning the way of the Kung Fu. Okay, that's why. But maybe, I don't know, maybe like if you go to other like martial art, I don't want to offend them, but some of them, they go straight, you know, to the offense, you know, without teaching them how to really value this knowledge and how to really apply it.
When I was in my school last year, some of my friends, they like challenged me that, okay, you're doing Kung Fu, you want to see. I tried to convince them that it's dangerous and I don't want to apply it. But it came to a point where they asked me, like, they really insisted. So I tried once, I just hit them once. And one of them, he like almost broke his hand and stuff. So after that point, I came to realize, okay, how dangerous it can be to applying. And from that point on, like, even if I get angry, I try to do what Sahaba in what Prophet taught us. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, and I try to walk away.
So people challenged you to...
Yeah, because I try to normally don't tell everyone that I'm doing Kung Fu and stuff. But when they find out, they're like, okay, I do kickboxing, I want to see who's better.
Okay.
People have a habit.
Right.
Yeah, they want to compare, okay, who is better. So I let them say, no, you win, I don't want to fight.
Yeah,
I let you win.
That's an excellent point, mashallah. We're going to have to take a little break, inshallah. We'll come right back with some more questions. And the lines are open, inshallah. We want to hear from you, the people who are watching. If you have some stories or you want to talk about your experience, or maybe you have a question about Kung Fu and Islam or what's been said, the phone number is on the screen. We expect your call. Let's take a little break, inshallah. We'll be right back on A Time to Please Allah.
A chance to gain reward I will spend on you, he says.
يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا حي يا قيوم لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين اللهم أحسن عاقبتنا في الأمور كلها وأجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا وأصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا وأصلح لنا آخرتنا التي إليها معادنا واجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير واجعل الموت راحة لنا من كل شر.
Try to recap what we do here at Huda TV for the past week, and we try to share with you some of the latest news that is happening behind the scenes here at the station.
Living Islam would love a cooking show to be aired for Arabic dishes. Also more programs for children regarding manners.
We want to go ahead and take a look at our YouTube page right now and see how it looks as it stands. I'm on the screen right now, but I'm not on TV. I'm actually through YouTube, as you can see right there. It's the same exact thing that you see on TV here live. It's exactly the same thing that is on our YouTube page through our live streaming. A great way to stay in touch with us.
My first time to call Huda TV, but I like it too much.
Because there is no program in Huda TV that it is not important for our Muslims, inshallah.
Time to please Allah, a chance to gain reward, I will spend on you, he says.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Welcome back, and we're talking about Kung Fu, and beautiful explanation, beautiful lifestyle that goes, I guess hand in hand with Islam as you're explaining it. Now, we talked to our guests as well about having self-confidence and about restraining yourself. And now, I want to ask you about that, because you are Sifu. Have you ever in any situation where you were not able to restrain yourself, not because you couldn't, but because the situation, because someone might have attacked you, or anything like that? Because I know, growing up in Europe, in our neighborhoods there, fights were very, very, it was just something that was happening. And someone would attack you to steal something from you, so you would have to defend yourself. Was there ever any event in your life where you were not able to hold yourself and you had to apply Kung Fu?
Sadly enough, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are they alive, Yani?
I beg your pardon?
Are they alive still, those people?
This is not my problem.
Inshallah.
Okay. The problem, my concern is those who I was concerned about, alhamdulillah, bi'ithnillah ta'ala, they're still alive.
Yeah, they're protected.
Yes. Yeah, that was in Belgium. You know I'm from Belgium, yeah?
Yes.
So it was with my daughter one time when she was a small kid. Yeah, I'm a divorcee. But when she was a small kid, in Brussels we have like the metro, and we let people out. I mean, the ethics of the education in our society is like, we just step aside, let the people out. Yeah, then you just walk in. And there were like 3 tall guys, no, actually 4 tall guys. They just literally push her head out, So I was like, wait a minute. I'm letting you people out, and when you still manage, like, she's literally like this way, and I saw her really like almost bang the door of the metro.
She's a little girl.
Yeah, she's a little girl, So what I did is I pushed the guy back. I cannot let this happen, actually. So Brussels is also like a capital of Europe, yeah. So they were like, what'd you push her for? What'd you push me for?
Huh.
So I looked at him, I said, what'd you push her for? He said, I didn't see her. I said, it's okay, I didn't see you also. Move on. But kibr, because so I told my daughter, put your hands on your eyes, sit a couple of seconds, Papa's gonna come to you in a minute. Because they came, understand? And one, I don't know what he showed like he wanted to. I didn't care, actually. There were 4 of them, and it ended up in the hospital, basically. In less than 15 seconds, literally.
Huh.
So this one of the few cases. There was other cases. It was actually about 12 people. Gangsters, hoodlums, or how do you say this?
Hooligans. Yes.
Hooligans, thugs.
Huh.
In Brussels, in London, and in the US.
Yeah,
this happens, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You have people who come to challenge you, say, I want to see you Kung Fu. I say, no, it's okay. And at the time I was still a student, I say, from one of the Sifu I had, he was teaching me, you just say, if you want to learn Kung Fu, you go see my Sifu. I'm just a student. I'm a small fish in the ocean.
Right.
This one bigger fish. So some cases like this, and people they just want to show off because basically they don't have self-confidence. What would you want to show off? It's like sit in the Hizb al-Quran and you walk in the street like Bismillah. You're not going to show off about your Quran. It's between you and Allah. Right. If you're an architect, you're not going to walk in the street with plans and maps of the buildings of the things you're building. No, this is who you are.
Right.
You see? So you just to be what you are according to the path of the Quran. Of the hikmah. I must point something out to you. Kung Fu is not something new in the Muslim or Arabic tradition. The uncle of the Prophet ﷺ, Sa'ad ibn Waqqas, he went to China, he came back with Chinese culture. Yes, he came back with a tea. How come the Muslims and the Arabs are so keen on tea and learning self-defense? Where does that come from? It comes from the time of Uthman. it goes really far. And men and women were learning self-defense.
Right.
You know, now I have ladies who come to me to learn.
Right, that's what I was going to ask you. How do the ladies fit in this picture?
Well, the ladies, first of all, I have a uniform dress for the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's a long abaya, yeah, which they can move properly, yeah. Because some of them say, I don't want to wear the uniform. So I say, it's okay, then you don't have to come learn Kung Fu from me. You know? And some say, but I don't wear the hijab. Say, this is between you and Allah. But here, I'm going to teach you that you're Muslimah. You have to wear a hijab. Because it's perfection of yourself. So anything which is not in balance with yourself, I have to teach you to have the love of it. So you start to have the love of the understanding of your deen. Understand? Now, those ladies, some mothers, yes, they realize that because of the Kung Fu, they are actually better mothers. They can handle the children better. I mean, I have one student who brought his wife. He was my student, and he brought his wife. He said, I want my wife, she learn Kung Fu from you. I said, really? I said, yes. And they had alternatives. So, when she was coming, he was waiting downstairs in the car. And when she was there, he was upstairs, and she was downstairs with the children. And then there was to a case that the father wanted to, from here, wanted to see me. It's like, Sifu, what is this, Sifu? They come home, they pray more on time. My son is going, he wants to pray for, before I had to tell him, go home. Now he comes wake me up for Fajr. You know, and I say, how's it possible? So we learn from Sifu, this. But how you learn from your Sifu when I've been telling you this all your life? So, but Sifu, we put this into the practice in a way that we have no other choice but to do it. Understand? We have the fear that it seems like we feel the hadith in front of us. That's what he's telling me. So the father, he requested to meet me, you know, and after talking to him like 1 hour, he said, I can also still do it.
Okay.
I said, yeah, but I'm too old. I said, no. I said, this is martial art. You perfect yourself. So the more you do, the stronger you get. It's not like other sports combats. Like after times you break your limbs, you have nerve problem, you have back pain. This is the opposite. You become stronger. You know, when you go to China, you see the people, they train Tai Chi in the park, very old motion. Right. But if they had to use the Tai Chi on you, you will surprise that that's old potato. You took care of this young potato. So how seriously, you know? So yes. So the ladies, I mean, one lady, she had a broken arm, yeah, and she said, do you know how to do the healing of these things? She was local. I said, yes. If you want me to take care of it. And now she can do push-ups on the wrist, 200.
Strong lady.
Yeah. But you know, she's really skinny. Yeah? She's so skinny, I call her spaghetti.
So let me ask you this: how do you teach the class with women and men? Is it mixed? Because some people might.
No, definitely not. I had even recently a student of mine, a local lady, who was in the U.S. to visit some of her relatives living in the U.S. She came back and she said, can I come in the men's class? I said, you know, it's not allowed for me. Children separate, men, women separate. In Europe, in Europe we learn mixed. Yeah. But don't forget, I'm also a Muslim.
Right.
So I have a dressing code. Those who don't like it, you can go to another school to learn. Yes. Those who want specific things, or those who think I teach ballet, it's not about this. Understand? So the timing is separated, and the training is the same. I mean, I'm very strict. So I'm strict for men as I am for women, as I am for children. Because it's about discipline, like you said. So if the core of, I mean, the essence who's talking about discipline don't have the discipline himself, it is actually kind of difficult to teach discipline for people or to people when you don't have it yourself. So I must actually have a tough character because you have tough cakes in this world.
Is he tough in class, guys?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Doesn't joke or anything like that?
Sometimes, yes, but otherwise, yes, very strict.
MashaAllah. And do you guys see any students who are kind of like, I don't want this? Like, do you see quitters or anything like that?
Yes. Those who are not, you know, they have a mindset that I want to learn Kung Fu.
Yeah.
If they are comparing it to like, they go to karate club or gym, something instructor, coach or something, then yes, they do quit. because they're not ready for it.
I
Because
think they watch too many movies, like
Yes.
too much Kung Fu Panda.
Yes.
They want to be like, you know,
Yes.
like they want to just get the violent aspect of it, the fighting, and they don't realize it's a system, right?
Yeah.
It's actually worse than that. Wallahi, I have some people who come to me and say, "You teach us how to fly?"
How to fly, huh?
Wallahi,
Oh yeah, because of the we used to watch those movies.
I'm like, seriously?
Right, right.
We teach you how to run against the wall?
Uh-huh.
I say, what is this? I'm not doing street dancing.
Right.
You know, these kind of questions.
Mashallah. So how long have you been doing Kung Fu for, Brother Safwan?
almost 2 years now.
2 years, mashallah. And just a few weeks for you, mashallah. Alhamdulillah. And how many students in your classes?
So before there were a lot. Now, so some of them they are traveling, and some of them they are still there.
So you're also filtering, right? The ones who are sticking, they're sticking. The
Yes,
ones
yes.
who are not willing to, they don't. So let me ask you just a few minutes right now before we end. Tell us a little bit about your dress, mashallah. you have a mix of East and Middle East, yani. Let's
Yes.
say, you know.
Yes, actually, this is actually my own design.
Mashallah, okay.
Yeah, with the brand Qaddasa.
Qaddasa, meaning?
أخو سعودي.
قدس.
من قدس يعني.
قدس.
How do you translate that يعني?
It's like to make something holy.
Holy, yeah. That's what I was
Yes.
thinking. From Quds, يعني. Qudus.
To make it holy, but it doesn't mean holiness. Huh?
From Qudus, yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Qaddasa.
like
to make some. Okay, I
Yeah.
understand.
to make something clean.
Okay.
Yes.
To
Yeah.
purify something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So there, I've made my own watch design.
You have the watch.
The toe.
What do the characters on your sleeves mean?
Peace.
Peace, mashallah. So
Yes.
salam.
Yes, salam.
Can you show it to the camera, please?
Yes.
Opposite. This one. This here. Here.
Ah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Mashallah. Okay, and
Peace.
the other side too.
Same.
Mashallah. So it says peace, yeah.
Yeah, this is peace. So this is I have different color. So if you want one, just let me know. Huh? We have your size
I
available.
do, and I believe you have a website, right, where people
Yeah,
can
yes.
also.
Yes.
And it's actually a thobe,
Yes.
but it's
Yeah,
kung
because
fu thobe.
it's actually you could say a sport though, because nowadays I mean we Muslims we're so creative, but we don't use our creativity.
But you're missing something in it.
What?
You're missing the pen pocket.
Oh yeah, you know.
You have to have the pen pocket for such a pen.
My sincere apologies.
Mashallah, mashallah. And would you be able to kick in that if you have
Yes,
to?
yes,
Mashallah.
yes. I'm not gonna show no kick.
No,
yet,
yeah, no-
But
no kick.
yes, of course. You know, it's
Mashallah.
designed in a way that I can move my legs,
Mm.
but you know, I don't need to use my legs so much. Huh?
Right,
You know,
right,
I mean, I use my hands.
yeah,
you know,
okay.
and then
right.
I'll just move on with my life.
So we have just a few seconds left. Can you just maybe the audience would like to know more about your school? How do they reach you? Or what's the
If people want to reach me, they can call the 050-939-8269.
8269?
Yes,
Okay.
for any inquiries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, group class, private class, children, women, men.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I teach kung fu, I just don't teach the fighting aspect.
Mm.
I also teach medicine.
Mm.
I teach cooking. Yes.
Cooking,
He
mashallah.
has had cooking class. He hasn't done it for home yet. Have you? See, bad student.
Mashallah. What they teach you to cook? Biryani or what?
No. All the healthy stuff.
Healthy stuff.
From Chinese cuisine.
That's good. And I know my dear brother Hassan's been interacting with you over some
Yes.
medicine, mashallah. and
Exactly.
He's very happy with that. Alhamdulillah. that's
Yes,
good.
I've had people actually who had some cancer and stuff like this because to reach to a certain level as a sifu,
Mm.
I mean, a sifu is the one who teach kung fu, you call him sifu.
Mm.
But there's different
Levels
levels.
of seafood.
Yeah. So I've studied Chinese herbs,
Mm.
medicine.
Right.
Yeah. So people came to me with cancer cases, many cases, but it is not medicine properly speaking.
Mm.
It's actually food.
Subhanallah.
Yeah, like mushrooms.
Okay.
You know, we say in Arabic, غذاءك شفاءك.
Right. Well, that's right.
Your food, is your cure.
Mashallah.
Yeah. So if you eat wrong, it will be stuck in your stomach. Most of the disease you get is because your stomach is not in balance.
Right. The pH and all.
You know what I mean?
That's fine.
So nowadays people go to bad ways of medicine.
Mm.
You know, the one that has been controlling the whole world, that you become actually a number. Chemicals.
Chemicals.
You know, and that's actually it's the poison.
So-
It heals you for one thing, and then you get broken for another thing.
Right. they call it side effects.
And this is exactly.
So
you
that
know?
they make it
But
sound.
food, there's no side effects.
So-
I mean, there's no side effect for you eating a banana.
Mm.
Unless you eat too much, you get diarrhea, I guess.
MashaAllah. Thank you so much, brothers. MashaAllah for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Inshallah, ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum. Inshallah, you guys will come again, hopefully, for another episode of Tight News. It was very, very enlightening, and I hope that people have learned a lot. If you want to see a rerun of the show, you'll be able to get it on YouTube probably by tomorrow, inshallah. Don't forget to check our Facebook page, A Time to Please Allah. Like us, comment, inshallah, and share the videos with other people so they can benefit. Again, another great show brought to you again by the team from A Time to Please Allah. We'll see you inshallah next Thursday, live from Dubai. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
A time to please Allah, a chance to gain reward. I will spend on you, he says, on all who spend in good cause. Good deeds are opportunities, sparkling bright and true, raising you in the sight of Allah and adorning Al-Jannah for you. So rush to earn his reward. Don't forget